for some really good stuff. The disruptors.
Like I wish most games could go that direction. Like, I like that game a lot. I don't know what to say about that. But all right, folks, we're getting into game number 2 here for the DreamHack ROCCAT Legacy of the Void Championship qualifiers. I keep getting hung up on that because it like kind of rhymes, DreamHack, ROCCAT, but like, anyways, on the rightmost side of the map, he did actually win game number 1, and it was really cool watching that game. I'm gonna keep nerding out about this one for a while. In the top right, we have the yellow Terran player, Semper.
Top left has the green Protoss. It's HuK.
So one of the big things about that game too, ignoring balance, whether you're a Protoss or Terran in the audience, like that was really two Titans colliding. I do not think, and I say this with confidence, this would have ever happened with these two guys in Heart of the Swarm. But like I said, Semper has really stepped it up. I'm not sure if it's the addition of the Liberators, being able to pick up tanks, timings, agreed. Something really clicked for him, and he has become one of my favorite Legacy of the Void Terran players to watch.
Yeah, especially after that last game. His PvT was always fairly impressive, and then he had a good grasp of everything else with the multiple patches, but that last game is proving that for whatever reason, Micro especially clicks with this guy in this game.
Yeah.
And I mean, good thing too, because it's more important in this game.
Absolutely, especially with the end of that last game with the focus fire. But one of the big things for HuK, let's not forget, like this, we're talking a big game for Semper, and this is off of the back of a victory. But you know, HuK and MC won Red Bull together. Like it's not like HuK's kind of a, oh, I'm just going to play this for funsies.
Yeah, we want to talk about how they won that.
Well, I know how they won that, but my point is, like, HuK's been playing Legacy of the Void. This isn't a guy who sat there casually waiting to cast or play more HOTS. Like, he's been playing Legacy of the Void, so it's not like he lucked his way to victory here. He knows how to play this game.
Sure, yeah. I didn't even really watch the game, so I probably shouldn't be talking like this, but all I heard from people who came up to me after the game ended was like, "Oh yeah, it was Adepts," because it was that patch. So I couldn't like if they ever use like a stat on like the first IEM or the first DreamHack after it's released in Legacy of the Void that says like HuK, whatever percentage versus whatever percentage stats from Red Bull DC, I'm gonna be like, oh really?
So I actually wonder, right, and this is more like, I guess, guesswork than anything else. The Disruptors are fantastic. They got some really good use. I understand why he dedicated to them. I mean, the favorite part of me was when he was kind of baiting in the shots with the Tempest, right? And then we started seeing the splits come out of Semper. He went Super Saiyan mode, obviously. Would Storms have been better? Would we have seen better use of things through Storms? I mean, yes, EMPs are going to be available, but the Tempest could have zoned a lot of those ghosts out. We might have seen Storms be more effective with AoE. I don't know. Maybe even in a best case scenario, you mix in Storms with the Disruptors. There's a lot of ways that game still could have gone differently for both players, but that's the one I question most for HuK, because Storm is so devastating in HOTS. I'm not sure that... It's kind of like when we saw Terran players stop making Widow Mines in Legacy, and then suddenly realizing, like, oh, I guess I actually still need this unit.
Yeah. That's a good question. Did he go for the right composition at the end? It was working out for a time, and then the Terran kind of adapted, so... What is the right composition? And Tempest actually involved.
Well, Mothership Core going to be annoying. Pick up a couple of SCVs, drive off a Mule even. Behind this, though, we don't have a Stargate follow-up. It is going to be Blink. Utility through Blink Stalkers can be really effective. Looks like Mothership Core just recalled. Where'd you go? Natural? Yeah, natural.
There was one or two times, too, in the mid/early-ish part of the game where HuK had a pretty good fight. A pretty good lead, so... It's not that going for Blink Stalkers was wrong, it was just that one mistake. But that doesn't do that game justice, because it wasn't like one mistake like lol Disruptor's so good or lol Liberator's so good. It was one mistake that eventually was too much to not come back from, but there was plenty of other one mistakes that everyone else made. I mean, Semper made plenty of those, having Disruptor shots kill so much early on before he adapted.
Yeah, I also wonder too, like, I don't actually think the Blink Stalkers are a bad choice, and I like that he's going for them again. Again, the mobility and the utility they have can sometimes just not be matched by units in the game, but I do wonder if there had been some Adepts mixed in at some point too. Would that have snowballed? Would that have, with Resonating Glaives, been better? Because keep in mind, guys, the only thing that was really hurt about the Adept was its early game. It's the core strength of that health. When it gets the Resonating Glaive, it still contests really well with Marines later on. And there's other cool things. I mean, Zealots get charged now, so it guarantees damage. Again, I'm not saying HuK's composition was bad or wrong. I actually liked it a lot. It's just there's so many other cool tools and utilities we didn't get to see that game. And if it ends up being the same thing for Semper, where he's just playing bio with Widow Mines, then okay, let's maybe see some other units.
Yeah. It is delicate, but the thing is, like, you know, my point was, like, both armies can be very delicate when you have disruptors going off left and right, and blink stalkers, you know, not being able to match that of an upgraded bio army. Like, they have to defend the disruptors, but this doesn't go.
Barely doesn't catch
so well
that
for
soccer.
Semper. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate, but the game goes on. Semper goes for third base, HuK goes for robotics bay, looks to be applying pressure with a gateway and a proxy pylon.
Yeah, this is looking at the faster warp ins for those who don't know the use of this. It's not just a proxy for being an annoyance.
Yeah. But this should not be able to break it.
Ooh.
I mean, it's a full wall off.
I mean, it is going to be blink though, so there's the potential to just blink around this, get up to the high ground in the main. He's left a Widow Mine here in anticipation of this, actually. The CV's had inadvertently pre-pulled. Actually, the problem with this depot going down means the Adepts can silently transfer through this, and then you have to start pulling your units every which way. So this is a big problem. This isn't a small issue.
It's no longer the instant KO that it was, though. Like, if you lost the wall in some scenarios before the last couple of patches, it did mean game over. But if the Adepts run through, they probably aren't doing that much damage, and there's actually not that many Adepts to begin with.
Wonderful snipe on the Observer. It's going to lock together some of the defense here. But, you know, Semper is on a third CC. I don't think he can comfortably take this base soon, but... oh, this Widow Mine is... It should be revealed, right?
Oh, that was such a weird... Did you see that? It was like, ooh.
Yeah, it reached over. But the big thing was, like, HuK actually didn't see that. That was HuK's reaction time right there, blinking away instead of into the base. Again, respect goes to HuK when we watch him play. Because sometimes there's the joke, and HuK plays poorly, and it's like top 3 control, but then there's sometimes where it's like actually top 3 control. It's actually really great reaction times.
Oh.
I like this turret, too, expecting potential DTs at some point.
Semper's getting to that point where he can start showcasing the power of a bio ball, especially with decent upgrades. Again, gets the Observer.
Looking for 2.
Oh, not both? No, yeah, yes, both.
You know, there was again. Was it Byung? Who's fighting Myung-sik? Ryung? Where they caught him off guard because all the observers got sniped?
Yes, Ryung.
Yeah, that was actually a really great series too, just showing the power of blinding a Protoss.
Well, that little poke does initiate an attack by Semper. There we go. So the Adepts are being warped in. This will be annoying to deal with. Oh, nope, Semper's not going to go for the attack. Probably could go for like a drop at least.
I actually like that. I kind of like that he's not. His third base is so exposed. He doesn't know that there's no pylons around.
He's starting to get that good rally though.
Yeah.
Good production. 5 barracks. Quick second starport again. So go back to those Liberators.
Liberators, I think, are a very influential part of this matchup. We see it come out in harass and annoyance, but mostly a necessity versus Ultralisks and Zerg. And in TvT, it's questionable whether they're useful or not. But I think versus Protoss, they're a very essential part of the game. Double one of my shots, still going to take care of those Adepts. Nicely done. A little bit of friendly fire, but nothing bad. Ooh, Disruptors are out, though. Semper once again going to try and focus down, but doesn't have the damage.
No.
Okay, he gets one of them, but he doesn't have that +3 like last time. So there's no, oh my god, I'm going to just kill all your things and win.
That was very dangerous tactics. It was like, I learned too much. I wasn't in control of my knowledge.
So we do have someone chat saying, I didn't catch that. What's up with the proxy gateway being there? For those who don't know, warp in without, like if you just have a proxy pylon, it's like a 13-second warp in or something insane. With the gateway there, it's only 5 seconds. If a pylon's touching a gateway or the nexus, it reduces the warp time significantly, so you can warp in a little bit more effectively and faster.
Well, it's the same compositions as last game, so it'd be really cool to see what this will look like as both parties are now a little more ready. Know what to expect from each other. Bio still does well against Blink Stalkers. Definitely don't want to take that fight without the Disruptors. But these Bio units aren't as well upgraded. Not yet. They're at 1-1, but the armory's only just finishing up.
I mean, the thing about what really worked well wasn't just the Marauders getting those upgrades, but the Marines on 3-3 against low armor upgraded Disruptors. That's really what let Semper focus fire down so well that last game. I think he kind of got a little ahead of himself thinking, oh yeah, I'm doing as good as I did last time. Good blink at a HuK.
I was kind of questioning the bunker and the defensive play here, but that last game, the mid game was really going heavily in favor of HuK because Semper kept on pushing forward with like 3 Liberators at a time.
And losing them.
You know, and losing them, exactly. So in that regard, I think I like it that he's okay. If I just wait for 6, 9, flip-flop. 9 Liberators, oh god, then I'll be good to go, and then I'll attack, and then it'll be a lot better than that last game.
So he wants German no Liberators? I don't understand. What about 8?
9.
9.
Oh, okay. I was like, what did I say in that gibberish that made you
I don't even know what I was saying. I was hoping they were gonna let it fly. Actually, that's like 90%.
Eventually.
That's like 90% of casting, though, isn't it? It's just like I hope nobody notices I'm just tucking up my ass. This commentary is very serious, guys.
Usually I know what I'm on about, but then Disruptor, Liberator, Corruptor, I don't know anymore.
Does this gateway even touch? Does this count as a faster warp? I actually have no idea how to look around like that. Alright, that's a lot of Disruptors. Coming up on 5, that's plenty of shots off, and if he staggers them, that's going to be the best case scenario. But, oh, armies are going to collide, and Semper's not paying attention! Oh man, he got more Liberators, and it worked out even worse from them before. Because at least last time he killed things for them.
That's hilarious.
Now,
luckily, this is only half of his army. He was bulking up his reinforcements at home, and apparently they're gonna be able to run away. But that was terrible.
Pick up and boost. You just saw the blink go down. There you go.
He's got it. He's got it.
I can pick up some more of these units too. "Quote unquote" save them, but HuK's already preparing to catch them on the side. Actually, unloading and moving out might not be a bad choice. Like, walk out of here, because if he flies out, he risks getting sniped. New sub hype though. Wrath of Chaos just subbed to the stream, guys. Make sure to give him some Tasia claps in chat. New subs are always appreciated. But 3 Liberators at a time. This time we have some Phoenix coming out, which is kind of interesting. We'll see if those are used effectively or not. It does seem like you need a lot of them. Like 3 Phoenix, 5 Phoenix, like that doesn't cut it anymore. You really got to go heavy on the Phoenix.
Yeah. I mean, it's obvious you're going to have trouble with Liberators eventually. Like when it comes up to having 8 or 9, that's going to be a problem unless they run them into your playing Stalkers. So it really seems like HuK is trying to experiment a little bit, knowing that's going to be the worst problem they'll have. Eventually they'll just need to deal with them some other way than trying to get the better micro. And I'm not sure Phoenix is the way. I'm not sure Stargate's even the way. Like, maybe High Templars and just storming on stuff preemptively. Tango with Ghosts would be better. Who knows? But HuK's willing to experiment.
I mean, I like the Tempest for range. It's a good way to zone and get some free shots. But yeah, at the end of the day, I definitely think like things like Templar are going to be a lot more effective. Storms are just so scary. And without snipes like they used to be, you have to rely on EMPs, which are not always that effective. I mean, EMPs are good. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna be the last person to say EMPs like unfair, but it's really hard to get those money shots the same way you could just walk up and double snipe something in the past.
Yeah.
Picks up in the medevacs. Nicely done.
Like, no matter what you get, you're gonna have to depend on control heavily for both parties. So anything is fair game, I would say, to test at least if you're having trouble.
Focuses on these Disruptors. 2 of them, 3 of them go down. Oh my gosh. He could kite back through the Liberators still, and that's not even a large portion of his army here.
That was really good. That made up for the original 4 Liberator loss, man.
I think HuK was trying to set up for a flank, and he really wanted to come in from the south with these Stalkers, blink in, and kill the Disruptors, but that's not going to happen. In fact, he's got to fall back from this location. He's going to lose things if he doesn't.
Yeah. Oh, those upgrades are also getting sick again. 3-3 halfway done. 2-1 is what HuK has stopped out yet again.
Let's try the Stalkers here towards the south. Marauder's going to fire their shots in front of the cliff. I mean, they'll take out a couple more units with them. HuK not taking great trades. He's actually at a supply deficit now. And that 2-2 is turning into 3-3 very soon. Liberator's going to try and catch those Stalkers. The Stalker's going to fire back. A couple of the Liberators taking shots, but he's losing too much.
So many chunks of Stalkers without the Disruptors even getting any shots.
Ooh, you know what, though? Not a lot of Marines left at this point. It's primarily Marauders. Ooh. Oh, and HuK gets 2 of the full medevacs with those Stalkers. That was some really good focus fire. These Marines can't reach the base to really deny any mining, and these Phoenix will clean up the medevacs. So all of a sudden, Semper is the one who throws away his army. Oh, Semper, please.
But still a very powerful economy, at least matching that, and still ahead in supply. 4 Liberators at a time. I think you can go up to 6 if you transfer it over to Reactor. And those upgrades finishing up, and maybe the 4th is going to get sniped here.
There's a couple of cannons, plenty of time to buy.
Yeah, big warp in. But Semper still looking good. HuK now onto those Tempests, but that wasn't the key last time.
Feeling for HuK's overall upgrades though. Once again, he's gonna have level 3 armor. That's nice. At some point, he's gonna have level 3 armor, but his weapon upgrades really falling off through this. Now, the nice thing about that is he doesn't need upgrades the same way he used to in the past. The upgrades really affected the Colossus and the Stalkers. Now it's more about the Liberators using that sort of spell damage, quote unquote, to kill the army, and the Stalkers. Pardon me, Disruptors. Thank you. With the Stalkers, just kind of getting finishing blows with the Link here and there. So I mean, he doesn't have weapon upgrades, and that's not so bad. But it is the fact that it's going to be 3-3 versus 3-1.
Yeah. The army is in position, not going to get that planetary. This is going to become, I guess, maybe more of a problem as the outlying bases are going to be taken. HuK might have more difficulty harassing than Semper, who of course will always have medevacs, where HuK will be losing out on money and maybe can't afford to harass as much. But when you can harass this Protoss, it's usually pretty good. These don't have charge. So odd to see. I mean, in a 16-minute game that's like 25 on the swarm, they would have charge.
Looks like they managed to knock down the planetary up here, so there's a little focus on that harass. I thought with all the Liberators, Semper would have that no problem, but the one Liberator will hold. Planetary as well, going to add some shots in.
Yeah. A couple of DTs could also be... Oh no, never mind. HuK's really starving gas.
I'm surprised he didn't try to expand a little bit more while this was going on. I guess a little bit preoccupied on focusing with the army. I didn't realize, by the way, and I had not noticed, Semper was actually upgrading air weapons while this was going on. Not only does that benefit the Liberators and make them do like 100 damage a shot, but it's also the Vikings that he's now going for. Going to be able to tear through those Tempests pretty quick. What am I? Oh, gonna take out a good chunk of the shields on these Tempests.
Whoopsie.
This is an Observer?
No.
It's only just now coming out. Oh gosh. Okay, well he's going to try and pounce on this, realizing that the shields were low, but chasing into this is really dangerous. Liberators, never mind. He's going to change that. Oh my god, so much yellow on the ground. It's 10 Liberators.
Oh, this is the Tempest's job right here to try and get rid of those Liberators. Army tries to snipe the Disruptors. Does a nice enough job with it. Oh, until that.
Yeah, then the Bio Army just chunks off. Nice thing is it's pretty easy to replace the Bio, but that was, I mean, those are good Widowmine hits. I don't think that was the engagement he should have dived for. He was definitely not in position for that, and diving into that cost Semper a lot. This doesn't exactly put HuK monstrously far ahead, but that was a good fight for him. Takes out so much of the Bio.
Semper is running out of minerals. Every single time he takes a shot like that, it's obviously not that great. Losing that other planetary seems to affect him more than I thought it would, but now it's being remade, and he's remaking SCVs too, realizing his economy is a little bit in the gutter. Still no harassment from Semper, though. Again,
yeah,
Legacy of the Void seems to be kind of harassment light after a certain time. They're too busy scuffling and replenishing their army, and Jesus Christ.
That is such a get the fuck out of here move. Seriously, 10 Liberators sieging up at the same location. I almost feel like it would have been better to leave them unsieged, just kill the Tempest. I don't know, but either way, HuK's Blinkstalker army is still quite numerous, and this is really scary for Semper to be teetering around like this.
Yeah. He's also, like, the Vikings, they had a problem versus Tempest and Blinkstalkers and High Templars, so that's not present here, in Heart of the Swarm. So whenever those Vikings are trying to take out the Tempest, I just kind of laugh at that they're not doing that great of a job. Not yet, anyways. But once again, they're just, nope, get out of there, please.
Yeah, HuK's playing pretty safe around this. He's not dedicated to these engagements. We saw a couple of complacent ones last time because I think he's like got a little cocky. He was ahead. This time around, he's playing it much safer, and it's getting him this slower but better push. Now he's not maxed out. That's where this gets a little bit scary because his army supply is already so damn big. I would love to see some repairs go down on Semper too. His army's in pretty bad shape. But he doesn't have a lot of money to work with right now. 10 Marines, 5 Vikings, that's some costly production.
We're on the same amount of bases though. HuK's just taking that little bit better trade, I guess. Yeah, 4,000 minerals less in resources lost.
Stalker's going to blink over to the side and lead the charge. I guess one of the nice things is he did clear up most of the midfield with those Widowmines now being gone. It's a little bit harder for Semper to even know where the army's approaching from. I love chat crying out freedom when liberators go to liberate everything.
Oh, the blink was used! Okay, he should be good to run away.
I almost could not see the disruptor shots through the yellow targeting circles, and I wonder if that would have been the same for Semper, but he's going to move in here. Now Viking Count wants to take on these Tempests, and there's a level 3 weapon upgrade for them.
Hey.
Immediately takes these out of the equation.
Oh my god.
So again, this kind of, for me, begs back to HuK. There's no ghosts in play currently. A storm or two, I think, would do wonders. Even just diving in and sacrificing the temple. If they get the one storm off, some of those Vikings, some of these liberators would just be so low.
Yeah, we didn't see any ghosts. They were almost preemptive in that last game, but they did get a couple of pretty big EMPs. Now I just never bothered to get them. Now I can't afford them, so.
We should definitely steal this this phrase of the future. Jipkin in chat saying the future caster saying the Venn diagram of pain. That's pretty much what happens when the liberators siege up like that.
Stolen. That's yours. That's mine.
You made this? I made this. Seriously, this Viking count is getting a little bit intense though. I don't know that I like this. Like, is the air control going to be worth having? Yes, you'll kill all the Tempests, but the Tempests aren't really the core of HuK's army. It's the Stalkers and the Disruptors.
That's the question I brought up in that last game too. Like, this is a problem in Heart of the Swarm. It's still here, the problem. And in Heart of the Swarm too, like, you could be giving away workers at this point. You would have so many mules and so much, you know, bank. Both players would, but I don't like to see the Void, so you can't really fit in anymore, Bio.
Now, those Vikings, you know they want to get in here, but Bio's scared to move forward because of the Disruptors. Stalker's scared to move forward because of the Liberators. Looks like we are going to force an engagement. Disruptor shots go off, but he's already running away. Then he runs back into them, so loses about a third of the Bio, but that's okay because the Vikings have distracted.
Chaos.
Oh, man. This gets messy for both sides. Semper loses a lot more than HuK, I feel, but his remax is a lot easier.
So.
It's a lot easier to remax his Terran, I think, in this sort of situation. Find out 10 Marines, 5 Vikings.
But you're right, his remax is a little bit better. The chase is pretty good though. That's gonna be a lot of lost Vikings. Ha!
Ha! What is? Yeah, I was gonna say, what is this? Heroes of the Storm or the arcade game? I don't know. All right, the orbital command center is gonna go down. That's really unfortunate because Semper doesn't really have the minerals to replace this.
No, but he does have at least one more command center to give away.
Well, he's been floating them all around the map.
His third.
Yeah.
Still hasn't been taken.
HuK continued to expand though, is well behind this, so he's not exactly falling behind the game himself. I can't help but wonder, like, would drops be effective? Could you actually just get like one medevac full of 4 Marauders and go ham in the Protoss production? I mean, we're kind of harping on HuK for not having storms. At the same time, Semper's not really utilizing what is essentially Terran. He's going for death ball attacks, which worked in game 1, not being so hot here in game 2.
It's just, we do seem to harassment dies off usually in PvT for the Terran, but especially in Legacy of the Void, just in general, not enough minerals to have a 10 Zella warp in, not enough minerals to potentially lose 2 medevacs to feedbacks, which would usually be happening at this point. So they're just not bothering.
That's another thing too. Like, okay, we don't have storms is one thing, but if there's no Templar for feedbacks, there should be no fear for these medevacs to go drop. Normally that's what you're so scared of at this point. The paranoia really sets in, but for whatever reason, Semper starts to play this style.
2 medevacs, the 9, these outlying bases 5 minutes ago could have been so huge, but
yeah, agreed.
Oh well.
Drop a Widow Miner too as well before the cannons are built, all that good stuff. But Marines were not able to bait out those shots. Tempest, sniper shots get a little bit wasted. The Vikings gonna move in here and try to take out some more of the Tempests. Oh, he's gonna get the
upgrades. Again, gotta bring points though. Like, it's 3-3-3 for Semper. All of his upgrades are looking pretty good.
HuK is almost on 3-3-3 himself, though.
Almost, but not. That's the important thing. Like, he's at 3-2-2-1-1. Oh, so many upgrades.
Are we robots now? We're just gonna talk in numbers for the rest of the cast.
0-1, 0-1, 1-1, 0-1. These are pretty important bases that Semper has managed to move the battle to focus on. You know, the problem in a lot of this game, this 24-minute long game, has been that whenever he's pushed, the Blink Stalkers could have moved away and just done something else. Well, now HuK is in a very difficult position where he is taking a defensive stance. Oh, but north. And he needs this base.
North, while this goes on, it's a really big battle down here, sure, but towards the north, Semper segments off a lot of bio to just walk into that production line. So Semper's going to take a pretty good fight down here to the south. The Stalkers just can't contend with the Marauders. Without those Tempests here to guard everything, nothing zones us back, and the Disruptors are all dead.
The blink of an eye, once again, the game goes from, you know, 10 supply difference to 60.
Yeah, now HuK will defend down here, and that's great, but he's losing production, and that's where this game starts falling apart for him. Future Disruptor is going to get focused down. The Stargates already fell, so no more Tempests. This is actually really bad for HuK. He definitely did not see this coming. And Pylon on the way, an Observer, something, anything perhaps could have prevented this. But a couple Tempests that are here are going to try and defend. One Liberator, one Viking actually have the damage to do a lot to these, but the Marines get involved.
Yeah. I think the most frustrating thing, if I was the Protoss right here, you know, looking at past games, past expansions in StarCraft 2, at one point, usually your gas bank or your mineral bank gets out of control. And that's where High Templar Charge-Out really got strong, you know?
Yeah, they balanced
you could just dump the bank into it. But at no point did HuK have enough of a bank that, like, we could have been like, oh, DTs would have saved him, or, oh, Mass Archons would have saved him. Like, they were both strapped for every sort of cache.
This was, again, like another one of those games where it looked like it could go either way for a lot of it. I'm not going to try, again, I'm not saying HuK's composition is bad. He's taking great fights with the Disruptors and good control of the Stalkers this whole game, but I really wish there were some Templar in here for him. I definitely think that would wreck and change the course of battle. If nothing else, it forces Semper to start building Ghosts, which are expensive as hell. Something that someone who's riding so low minerals all game can't afford. You talk about HuK not having a bank. Semper's not had one either.
I think the logic was probably like, oh, he's gonna get like Ghosts, like no problem. But both of them are starving. So look at the replay, and they'd be like, maybe investing in a 2 High Templars, so the potential of Good Storm would have been worth it. That's all. What ifs? HuK is going down in the losers bracket for sure at this point. 40 supply, 70 supply rather.
Yeah. I mean, he's got these bases mining. Just he had to rebuild the robos, get in production. Although those Disruptors get focused once again, and a flank from the side out of Semper is going to clean this up. Big surround, and the Tempests just don't have the damage to deal with the Marauders. Good games called, and Semper, ladies and gentlemen, will be going to DreamHack for the ROCCAT Legacy of the Void Championship.
Ooh, that's pretty cool for him, man.
Yeah, again, like, Semper is this player who just didn't have success in Heart of the Swarm. Well, I shouldn't say that. He just wasn't as successful in Heart of the Swarm. And come Legacy of the Void, Holly's been doing really well. And I know this could be the Protoss in the audience, and the Zerg in the audience who are crying Terran Imba, and Terran cries Imba about everybody else. But at the end of the day, what I respect out of that series was Semper really, he showed that he could control his army. He showed that he could learn on the fly. There's a lot of really good things about that. And really happy for him. So congratulations to him. But the HuK fans in the audience, don't get too upset or too mad yet. And HuK, if you're listening, man, I'm just timing you because spoilers are not okay by anybody. I'm sorry. I'll unban you after the series is caught up on stream. But anyways, HuK's, don't be too upset. He's still got the losers bracket to go through. So he'll be fighting out down there against the likes of Kelazur, No Regret, Cats, Qualifiers, Volts, and maybe Puck. Actually, this bracket seems like it should have been updated by now. I don't know. Either way, we're going to go to an ad break while we figure out what stage he wants us to cast next. Again, really reminding you all that we got this giveaway that we're going to open up now as we get to the losers bracket. So a raffle will be available in chat for one of these ROCCAT mice, the Kova. I'm going to play the ad for that really quick. Then we'll play our own ads. And hopefully when we return, we'll have a game for you to play. So we'll see you guys soon.